Chris Jackson, as you can see in the picture. Sorry, radio folk, but the helmets are off. Well, at least Chris Jackson's helmet was off, and Antonio Brown was able to land a punch, pretty square, as we just showed. Some punches, and was thrown out of practice. He did return to 7-on-7 drills after he cooled off, but Bruce Arians says no Bucs players will be punished for the fights, and it seems like they're just moving forward as
the Rams,
just a camp fight.
Rams and Raiders yesterday. Yeah. Gruden said he was disgusted by it. McVay was like, "I've seen better." Here's the thing. I think you and I both agree that preseason should be shrinking from this point forward and replaced with scrimmages. So when you have scrimmages, this is what happens. It was funny. I heard a quote from somebody, and I wish I could give him credit. I forget what it was. And he said, "I've never been in a scrimmage with another team and there not be a fight."
Yeah.
He goes, they're just built for fights.
They are. And it's why this is really, it's because of the names and the fact that it's Antonio Brown and we haven't really heard much from the Bucs, that it seems like it's a bigger story. But training camp, we saw it in Hard Knocks this week, the fights. Like, it's scrimmages, it's camp, everyone's tired, it's hot. You're competing.
There's also, it's not like a game in where the people are watching, the officials are tight, like it's loose.
Yeah.
You can hit a little
people
late.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, they're not going to throw flags for taunting at the scrimmages as much.
Right. So overall, not a big deal, but there were a couple fights yesterday, and there's training camp fights within the team. Like when there aren't scrimmages.
That's right.
It's this part of the game. So Trey Lance will take over for the 49ers one day, but today it's still Jimmy Garoppolo's job. And even though there isn't a true competition going on, Kyle Shanahan is impressed with what he's seen from both guys in camp.
Ass off, they're doing a good job. It's not about one guy versus the other guy. It's about how good can Trey be, how good can Jimmy be. I think both of them, when you go through camp, you go through games, you go through practices. It's up and down throughout the whole thing. So that's why I don't sit and who's ahead of the other, what's going on after each practice. Both of them, I believe, can play at a high level, and I'm trying to see which one does that the best for us.
If Garoppolo stays healthy, they're going to have so many options. They could trade him at the trading deadline. They could trade him after the season. Joy, we almost had Carson Wentz go down. By week 7 or 8 at the trading deadline, somebody's going to be good, like 6-2, and lose their quarterback. Yeah. And if Jimmy is healthy, then you're going to...
Jimmy's healthy and they feel good about Trey Lance.
It's a lot of options. You can get... this league is built largely on, as Howie Long said, these are desperate men, and it's also desperate GMs and coaches. So if Jimmy stays upright, people will talk them. Sam Bradford had an injury history and got another big contract. Jimmy, if he's 7-8 games in and he's healthy, you can go, 2 of the last 3 years, he's been fine.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why Jimmy did not ask to be traded when they drafted Trey Lance, because he said he thought about it and, was really considering asking to move on. But I think the way that he is playing it now is the better route. Like, you just go out there, perform well. You're with a good team. You know what you're capable of doing within this system. If you're healthy throughout the season, even forget the trading deadline. Say you're good throughout the whole season. Now we know of you as a good locker room guy on top of the loyalty that you already had within the locker room because you've helped bring Trey Lance along. It's definitely a good situation for Jimmy Garoppolo if he can stay healthy, because he's going to have options as well. And I do think that the 49ers are obviously going to do what's best for the 49ers, but I think they would take care of him as well on the way out.
We were talking, it was really funny. This morning we were talking as a staff. We were saying, let's say week 7 or 8, somebody goes down. Like, Denver and Washington have real rosters. You could see Washington be like, we're really good. We're just not good enough at quarterback. Or you could see, and they're not paying Fitzpatrick anything, and Denver's not paying their quarterbacks much. You could see Denver in a division if Drew Lock just isn't the guy. So it's not, there's the teams that could really use a quarterback quickly don't have terrible rosters, because the bad rosters, mostly like Jets and Jags, Bengals, they've got their young quarterback.
Yeah. Speaking of the Jags, they drafted Trevor Lawrence first overall, and fans are definitely expecting to see him week 1. But the team is still insisting that Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew are in a quarterback battle. And offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell says neither player has secured that starting spot yet.
Yeah, we're still going to handle it that way until we end up making the final decision. So right now they're still status quo. We're trying to make everybody better, and we want competition in each and every position. And I think that both guys are getting better because of it.
Okay, I'm going to introduce cynical Colin. You know why they're doing this? Because they want to move Gardner Minshew. And if it sounds like, hey, he battled Trevor Lawrence to the end, that's my theory on this, is that there's no value in saying it's over.
Right.
They need players. Like, the value is, no, because if you go back and look at Gardner Minshew's current NFL career stats, they're not terrible.
No, they're equivalent to Baker Mayfield.
They're like better than Case Keenum, or Teddy Bridgewater recently. So you're like, you make it sound like, but I can't tell you what, right now it goes either way. End of camp or trading deadline, you get something for him.
It's very interesting. That's smart. You don't want to devalue a player that you could potentially move.
That's cynical Colin.
Yeah, but you know what? That makes the most sense because I don't buy into the whole quarterback battle, motivating, pushing Trevor Lawrence. He's the number 1 overall pick, and he's Trevor Lawrence. We were talking about him playing in the NFL after his freshman year.
Yeah.
So, give me a break. If that dude was going to stop working hard because of praise and, being put in a good position, it would have happened a long time ago. He knows he's the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not a secret. He doesn't have to earn that position. I get it that everyone earn their position. Cool, but
so why would you do it then?
That makes sense.
Don't minimize him. Somebody, we all know this league. I mean, we started talking about Phillip Rivers 2 weeks ago with Carson Wentz, and I asked Frank Reich about it. He didn't laugh at it. He didn't laugh at Nick Foles again. Teams get desperate fast.
Yeah. I mean, injuries happen every single year. You could be in a really good situation.
What if you found out today? Seriously, you found out today Dak can't start for 4 weeks. Would you not call Jacksonville?
You have to.
Gardner Minshew's a gamer. The award for best coordinator in college football. 130 teams. He goes to the NFL and he gets the best coach in the NFL's history. And if they gave out an award, Josh McDaniels would be on a short list to be the best coordinator. At both Bama and in New England, excellent running game, tremendous offensive line and protection. Both have great defenses. They don't ask you to play above and beyond yourself. They've been in big games. They know what it's like. This is as well as you can do. Again, you put Mac Jones in a lot of different spaces. Jacksonville could be a disaster. Chicago. But I'm looking around this last night, and I'm like, he had a 17-play drive. Now it's Philadelphia's 4 stringers, but we all know this. This is not a debate. This is one of the few things you and I can always agree on. Where you land. It's a lot like life. The difference is in the NFL, for a rookie quarterback, they're going to give you about 1.5 to 2 years to prove you can do it. So if you inherit garbage, your career is mostly garbage. For the rest of us, you're born into a family. If things aren't great, I got 70 years to figure it out. But I watch Mac Jones and I'm like, this is perfect. I mean, could you have given a kid a better landing spot than Mac Jones? It almost, in a weird way, his limitations athletically are perfect. Like he knows this is what I can't do, this is what I can, and he's smart enough to see what New England provides. It's just put it in automatic. You don't even have to shift gears. Just an automatic. Just drive. When you start, just drive this puppy because the road is just totally grooved for him right now. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, Bucs offseason's been pretty quiet until yesterday. Things got a little physical.
Yeah.
In the joint practice between the Bucs and Titans. There were 5 altercations between the players during the session. And one that stood out was Antonio Brown, who we haven't heard much from recently.